If you're watching this, it's probably not by accident, because this message isn't for everyone. Most people won't understand. They won't get why you feel the way you do, why you see the world through a lens that's deeper, sharper, and far more intense, why your presence shifts the energy in the room. But if you're here, chances are you're one of the chosen, or someone close to you is. And what I'm about to share could explain why your relationships often leave you feeling isolated, misunderstood, or emotionally torn. Let's tell the truth that most won't. Being chosen carries a weight. It's not just a beautiful path of purpose, awakening, and alignment. It's also lonely, confusing, and it breaks the molds of how most people love and connect. Before we go deeper, if you're walking a spiritual path, navigating your gifts, or simply trying to understand your soul's wiring, make sure to subscribe right now. And if this video found you at a moment when your heart is heavy, your mind overwhelmed, and your soul seeking clarity, type 111 in the comments to seal in divine protection, guidance, and truth. Now let's break this down. Here are 9 ways chosen ones unintentionally destroy relationships. Not because they're selfish, but because their soul is built for something higher, and that difference rewrites the rules of love. #1. They pursue truth relentlessly, even if it hurts. Chosen ones have a soul-deep commitment to truth. Not the sugar-coated kind that keeps things comfortable, but the piercing, unfiltered kind that exposes what others try to hide. They question everything: motives, habits, beliefs, traditions. Not to argue, not to wound, but because illusion feels like poison in their spirit. In relationships, this can feel intense. They lean into hard conversations while others run from them. Their honesty isn't meant to attack, but to awaken. Still, it often triggers those who aren't ready to face their shadows. To the chosen one, denial feels like betrayal, even if confronting the truth costs them everything. #2. Their energy is intimidating. Chosen ones don't just walk into a room, they shift the frequency of it. Their energy is magnetic, electric, almost unnerving. It's not something they turn on, it's just who they are. People either feel pulled in or pushed away, not because of words, but because of the mirror their energy holds up. It reflects truth, pain, potential, and that scares people. Without meaning to, chosen ones often make others feel exposed. And while their energy is meant to uplift, it can also isolate them, because being a lighthouse in the dark means sometimes standing alone. #3. They can't shrink themselves for love. Love asks for compromise, but a chosen one cannot compromise their essence. They're wired to grow, to expand, to become. And if a relationship demands they dim their light, abandon their calling, or pretend to be small, they might try for a moment, but it won't last. Their soul rebels against confinement, even if they love you, even if it breaks their heart. Because for a chosen one, betraying themselves is the ultimate loss. They don't want a love that limits. They need a love that celebrates the fire inside them, not one that tries to tame it. #4. They trust intuition over explanation. Chosen ones don't just have a feeling. They know. They feel energy shifts, sense dishonesty, and detect misalignment, often before it shows on the surface. And when something feels off, they act. They might call it out, or walk away without warning, not because they want drama, but because they refuse to pretend they don't feel what they feel. Others may not understand. They may feel accused or confused, but chosen ones value alignment over comfort. They'll risk being wrong, just to stay in truth. #5. They need solitude like oxygen. To most people, love means closeness, constant presence. But for chosen ones, too much togetherness can feel like suffocation. They don't withdraw out of coldness. They retreat to reconnect, with themselves, with source, with clarity. But if this need isn't communicated clearly, partners can feel abandoned. Do they still love me? Did I do something wrong? The truth. Their solitude isn't rejection. It's survival. Without space, they lose themselves. But when they're given the room to breathe, they return more whole, more grounded, more present. #6. They outgrow people fast. For a chosen one, growth is sacred. They are constantly evolving, stretching, shedding. But not everyone grows with them. Some partners resist change, cling to old habits, and fear transformation. And while the chosen one may try to bridge the gap, eventually, the disconnect becomes unbearable. Conversations flatten, the spark fades, and the soul starts to ache. When the vibration no longer aligns, they don't stay stuck. Not because they're cold, but because they can't thrive in a space their soul has already outgrown. #7. They speak from the soul, not the ego. Chosen ones don't sugarcoat. They don't play communication games or cater to ego-driven sensitivity. They speak directly, from the soul. Their words may be raw, but they're always real. To someone used to soft lies or emotional cushioning, this can feel jarring. You don't care how I feel, they might say. But the chosen one does care. Enough to speak truth, even when it's hard. Enough to challenge illusions instead of comforting them. To them, dishonesty, no matter how kind, is still betrayal. #8. They attract the wounded, and try to heal them ***. There's something about the chosen one's light that calls the broken toward them, and because they see beyond the masks, straight into the pain, they feel responsible for helping. But this can turn into emotional imbalance. They give and give, until they're drained. They become the healer, the therapist, the emotional savior, and slowly, they disappear into someone else's wounds. Chosen ones must learn. Compassion without boundaries is self-betrayal. Love isn't a rescue mission. It must be mutual, or it becomes a prison. #9. They are married to their purpose. Above all else, chosen ones live for something bigger. A mission, a calling, a divine assignment. They may love deeply, but if love asks them to abandon their path, they won't. Not because they're disloyal, but because alignment comes first. Always. Unless they're with someone who understands this, who supports the mission. It can feel like emotional distance or detachment, but their devotion isn't missing. It's just rooted in something higher than temporary comfort. If this resonated deep in your bones, know this: you are not broken. You are built different. And your love, it's not missing. It's just deeper, rarer, more intense than most can hold. But you need a connection that sees all of you, not just romantically, but spiritually. This is the chosen FY channel. Subscribe if you're learning how to balance divine purpose with human connection. And if this message found you at the exact right time, type 111 in the comments to seal divine clarity, guidance, and protection over your journey. Thank you for watching.